Okay, some of you have requested some tips on colouring in. Now, I'm quite a lazy crafter and I will always look for the easiest way to do something, especially colouring in. I'm not a huge fan. I'm going to use distress inks, but the same principle applies whichever water-based mediums that you use. So it could be watercolours, it could be your neo colours or your distress crayons or your scribble sticks watered down. I'm going to use my distress inks. I've got a water brush. I don't actually put water in my water brush. I tend to just pick up water off the mat. Now, whatever you choose to colour with, same principle applies. I always start very, very light, lots of water, and build it up dark around the edges. But just want to show you first on this scrap. I wanted to shade something a pink. I would start with a very pale pink, so lots of water, not much colour. Then add the colour on top, and that's how you would shade around the edge. If you get a little bit of a stripe, just a wet brush over that edge. Now, I also tend to think in colour families, so although I can shade pink with a darker shade of pink, I could also add a darker shade of a red around the edges. That really increases the depth of colour and the shading. So where we've got the dark pink, I would then add some red. And again, wet brush, blend it in. And that's how I build up the colour around the edges. Now, that would only be my first step. So some other things you might want to get ready, extra pencil colour. So I would build up the depth of shading with some matching pencils. Then I would also take it a step further, and this is a Stabilo all in black. Really good for just bringing in tiny bits of extra shading just because it is so dark. And then as a top layer, I would add some detail with a white Posca. So here we have Well Dressed Fish by me for Carabelle Studio, and I'm starting with the head and the fins, and I'm using Rusty Hinge. Probably noticed I didn't colour in any of the polka dots. Life is too short to colour polka dots. I'm going to add those afterwards with a paint pen. Now, the next step is to add colour pencil on top of the colour. So red on red, green on green, and so on. And it can just help you to build that shading around the edges. Stabilo pencil. This is very, very dark, so I'm just going to go on in very light layers. It's easier to add more than it is to take away. Posca. This is useful just for adding extra little polka dots, little highlights.